What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the FUTBIN pod. Nepenthes not able to be with us next week, but as we get into the FC26 cycle, I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot more of Mr. Nep. You're joined by myself, Richard Buckley, on this episode with my trusty number two, Mr. Matt Foot Trading, and we have got a very, very special guest. Unfortunately, Harry and Tom were out this weekend, so we had to get Shori. No, I'm joking. Shori, it's lovely to have you. How are we, mate? Welcome to the FUTBIN pod.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here on the FUTBIN pod. Yes, mate, I'm very well. I'm very good. Excited to chat some... Well, I'm excited what you got in store for me. I'm sure we're going to be chatting some FC26, which, I get out of bed every morning. Can't wait for it to get released, as per usual, because, I haven't touched grass for many years.
No, as we all haven't. As we all haven't. Matt, you saw some grass being touched at the weekend. The football pitch. Charlton. First win of the season, I believe.
Oh,
in the
yes.
Championship.
Yep, 1-0 against Watford, 94th minute Harvey Nibbs winner. So, the Reds are back.
No way.
Not long before we're back in the Prem.
Matt, that's crazy. Harvey Nibbs, year below me, went to my school.
Well, there you go. There's a connection right
random.
there.
Did he not just sign for Charlton?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a small
Best
world.
part, £2 million.
Go on, the boy.
So,
It's a very small world. As always, we kick off with the most up-to-date recent FC26 news, and we bring it straight to you. So, as of recording a couple of days ago, we got the Tony Kroos icon reveal. It was done in quite a nice video, I've got to say. I believe it went out on Real Madrid's social media channels. The big takeaways from this, I think, for me, you saw the icon. Again, another good image of the icon item. 90 rated. Upgradable icon, I believe, is what we are getting at, because he's one of the 15 that's going to be in the pre-order bonus. And we got a tease, a little tickle of Marcelo, which I believe is coming at the end of the video as well. Two questions I've got straight away. Over to you, Matt. Firstly, 90 rated, properly rated, overrated or underrated? And secondly, do we like the way that EA are slowly teasing these? Because I feel in past years we've been like, these are the icons for this year, go.
yeah, no, I think 90 rated is fair, especially if there's upgrade potential. We're not expecting it to be much higher than that. And yeah, I think we haven't got sort of too much yet in terms of the icons. Yeah, we've got some of the pre-order icons, and we'll get onto that. But I like the way they do it. We obviously get some leaks here and there, so we always have some rumours as to who there might be. But it's great to see Real Madrid's official accounts are getting involved and getting these reveals out there. And Marcelo is the next one. What are we expecting rating wise there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, what do you reckon? I think what's Roberto Carlos is 91, if I'm not mistaken. 90, 91? I think 91.
I think Carlos is 91.
80.
No, I think he's not. Is he 90? I think
It might be 90. I can't remember.
Shall I just check FUTBIN.com real quick?
I think he used to be 91, but I feel like he might have gone down to 90.
I feel like Roberto Carlos is 90 rated. There we go. FUTBIN.com. 90 rated.
90 rated. So, Marcelo, what do you reckon? 89? 88?
Obviously, Roberto Carlos, I'm not going to act like I watch Roberto Carlos all the time or anything like that. Obviously, he's got a lot of... He is iconic. I'm not doing that just as a pun. He really just is. But I feel like Marcelo is... he's part of a Real Madrid team that literally... That won the Champions League what felt like an infinite amount of times. And he was like a really main part. Like, Ronaldo loved him, right? Like, Ronaldo absolutely loved playing with Marcelo. So I don't know. Like, I would... You're probably right, Buckley. 89, I would say, but like, I think if he was 90, I wouldn't be like, oh my god, he's 90 rated. Why have they done that kind of thing? Not 91 though, and definitely not 88. Like, it's got to be 89 or 90. I would say
Sort of around like the Zanetti, Lahm kind of range.
No, actually, the more I'm thinking it, I'm the 88.
No, Buckley, come on.
Yeah.
No,
I think 88
come
but with great stats. Like a really good, like 88 but plays like a 93 sort of vibe I'm getting from him.
To be fair, as long as he plays well in game, because I feel like he'll be the kind of item that definitely gets used, I think.
We have also been trying to put together, we get the pre-order bonus, it's a 1 of 15 icon. I believe, to our maths, we've got 5 confirmed now, with Alex Morgan, R9, Zlatan. We obviously just got Toni Kroos, who's one of the 15, and then also the pick between Gerrard, Scholes, and Lampard. One of those 3 will be in. I'll come to you, Matt, very quickly before we move on from this, because it is more speculation than anything. How many out of the remaining 10 do you think will be new icons, and how many do you think will be old? Do you think it'll be like a 5-5 split? They're not going to put all the new icons in this pick, surely.
Yeah, I was going to go with a 5-5. I think you can expect some of the fodder in there. Let's put it that way. So don't be surprised if you see an English centre mid icon in there, be it Scholes, Gerrard, or Lampard. So I'm hoping we get at least 5 more in there, because new ones, Kroos, Ibra, Morgan.
Maybe a couple more?
Yeah, I expect a couple more in there. 50-50 split.
Yeah. Let's move on to our special guest, Mr. Shorey. I've got to ask you, firstly, #house. It's been, I have to say, the content has been superb over the last couple of years, and I think what you, Tom, Harry, GC are accomplishing is very, very good. Obviously, as well, being with FUTBIN now for a little while. How has this year gone for you? How much are you looking forward to sort of FC26 and the gameplay, for one thing, will be hopefully superb, as we have seen, and surely that is a big incentive for you and the guys with content.
Absolutely. I mean, to answer it sort of as a whole, this last year has been, the first year was always going to be the hardest year in terms of starting off. Like, we're starting off, we're fresh into it. We don't know exactly what's going to work. We say that, we make our first ever Sunday video, and it absolutely, people loved it, to the point where we were there like, well, I think the first Sunday video is 24 minutes long, or something like that, 22 to 24 minutes or something. Now the Sunday videos are like almost 2 hours. So we've got to a point where it's a bit of trial and error, and realise that the people want more content, they want longer videos. But no, the year's been really good. We've been very lucky that we've got such a loyal support sort of base of people that just love watching that Sunday video. The absolute carnage. Mostly, well, people love to see my head loss and Harry winning, really, and then Tom's just somewhere in between. But no, it's been really good. Like, we're very lucky to have that, and know you've got that big Sunday video to look forward to every week, and us recording it as well. Like, I think in all content I've done in my life of doing FC stuff, I think that Sunday video is the most enjoyable thing I've really recorded. Other than now, we've started doing a couple real life videos that we've started to dabble in there, which some funny stuff happening there. We've got a video coming out with a footballer very soon as well, Premier League footballer. So that's going to be very good. And the trajectory is just keep going with the FC concept, and then try and dabble in some real life videos in there as well.
Let us know, by the way, in the comments below, guess who the footballer is, because this should come out before that video is released. So if you get it right, well done. I was going to say I can give you something, but you can get a virtual high five from me. Matt, I think what you can see with the #house and the content that they're producing is that there was a long discussion over people not wanting to watch longer videos. And I think what the guys have done is sort of crush that, really. If the content is good, people will watch it. Where do you sort of see the #house in terms of like FC? Because I think it is like it's a really nice mix of content and also like a little bit of pro. and then also like the YouTube entertainment.
Yeah, I think, to the guy's credit, I think it's exactly kind of what the pro scene has needed for a long time, and like the more personalities behind it that you can, attach to the pro events. I think, that's something that we've lacked a little bit. So getting that sort of balance, I think, has been really good. I think, we have a lot of content creators these days that are very good at the reaction stuff. I just think of Pieface getting, his 5 wins every week. People love seeing the crash outs, but equally, people want to see high level gameplay as well. So it's a great mix.
Sorry, I've got to ask you. This question gets asked a lot, and I'm sure you've answered it a lot. However, you've got time to explain yourself now. Who is the best out of the three of you?
Oof.
Okay, well, it's definitely not me. The thing is, I try to tell myself not to feel bad for that, because I'm going between there's only 3 of us, and the 2 of them are 2 of the best FC players that have played in England ever. They were both World Cup good enough players. I think it's like this. If they were to have, Harry's the better champs player. There's no question in that. There's too much evidence of that. But I do think if it's locked in, playing with pro teams, you've got a budget, or if you've got an unlimited account, and it's there right, 9-minute halves, you're playing in a tournament, I think Tom comes out with the win. And I think both of them would agree with me on that. Whereas maybe if it was a one-off champs game, I don't know. Harry definitely could beat Tom, but I'd probably have to bet with Tom, because when it comes to a pro side of things. So it's hard to answer who's the best, because from a casual standpoint, and this is probably quite a valid opinion from a lot of people, people would say Harry is better. And then I would say, but the thing is, Harry is a better champs player than Tom. He just is. There's too much evidence of it. And listen, he's definitely a better champs player than me. I'll tell you that for free. I go about 9 and 6 every week on that channel. But then I think Tom would win a pro game, because I know Harry, he can lock it. He locks in for the champs games, but I don't know if he can lock in for 9-minute halves each time. I think he'll start thinking about going out.
The next question I've got is, how does Harry do it? Because I've commentated a lot of players, and whenever someone asks me who's the best player you've seen, I've got an answer, and it's not Harry. However, I will always say Harry is up there with one of the most just technically gifted players I've seen on when it used to be FIFA, now FC. He can pick up a game and learn it within a day, 2 days, and tell you what the best things to do are, teach you how to do it. There's not many people who I think have got that switch that they can just be right, I've learnt this now, and I know it. He is very, very technically gifted on the sticks. How does he do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've hit that absolute nail on the head. I think with Harry, he's one of the strangest players I've ever seen, and I mean strange in the best way. He's one of the weirdest players to play against. He's got a unique playing style that you don't see a lot of pros have, and that just makes him so difficult to play against. I'm sure Harry told me this story once where he hadn't played the game for about 2 months, and then played a game against Ajax Danny and beat him, and it was some sort of summer game, and that just sums Harry up to a T. He doesn't need to play the game, and he'll come on and just be as good as for example, if there was a pro tournament, because I still think Harry's good enough to play pro, it's just whether he would he would want to apply himself, which I know H doesn't want to do that anymore really as much maybe. I don't want to speak for his future, but I know at the moment he's happy just playing champs. But if we were to have a tournament between pros, and you were to say, right, you're not allowed to touch the game for 1 month from now, so no one's allowed to touch the game at all, just pretending we are going to still do FC 25, I think Harry comes on, and I just think Harry just wins the tournament. Because I just think a lot of people need to sharpness what Harry has, and this is what I don't get about him. I'm trying to understand it. He doesn't need to play the game. He'll log on after a week, and he'll still be as good as he was the week before. And that's what I find really strange. Whereas I know me and Tom a little bit more. Might need to warm up a bit more or anything like that. And then when we are warm, hopefully we're cooking. Well, maybe not me, but yeah, no, it is always been really weird. He's probably my kryptonite. I mean, to the point where during sort of 19, 20, genuinely, I'd have preferred to play against Tex than play against Harry because of the way he matched up against me. Like I hated it. But I will say this: Harry's song that says about beating me every time in practice. That's not true at all. I've beat Harry many times. He definitely beat me more than I beat him, though. I'll tell you that for free.
I want to sort of chat a little bit more about FC26 as well. Obviously, there's a lot of people who watch this who are very competitive FC players and wanting to achieve very good things. We recently got another deep dive in the last week or so, Matt, and that was the Pro deep dive. I know not many people might have looked into it, but there was one really, really interesting thing that I think came out of it, and that is the fact that you can, if you get to Division 4, a few days after the game comes out, you can actually play everything from the console. They've integrated it in, so you can play your ladder matches through. It's all integrated into the PS5 itself. It feels as though they're trying to make the competitive scene and sort of just the game in general, Matt, a lot easier for people to grasp. Like, you're not having to go to different websites, or you're not having to look at different links and stuff. Like, if you want to try and compete and try and be the best, you can do that simply just through your console.
Yeah, I mean, I'm far from pro level, and I can't even say that I've dabbled too much in these pro tournaments. I have had the absolute mispleasure of playing Shorey once in Champs, and I think it was a 2-0 skill quit about 20 minutes in. So, yeah, Trevella Town got another inhabitant that day. It wasn't good. But, no, I think, in terms of access to, more casual players, I know a lot of, sort of people that I have played sort of competitive pro clubs in the past. They've started to dabble more and more in Ultimate Team. So just sort of removing those sort of entry barriers so you can now just log on, play whenever. I think it's only going to improve sort of the pro scene. Hopefully we get more and more sort of people coming through that way. What do you think, Shorey? Is it going to be some unknown players coming through in FC26 more than ever?
Yeah, potentially. And I think, just with what Buckley was saying as well, I think people having anything being more accessible for anyone in life now is, you need it with the way that the world is. Not to sound too deep, but yeah, I think it's good. It's really good that that's integrated into the game, because I think it will just help out, and it could even help people to be able to actually follow some pro stuff, like maybe hear more about some names and things like that, because ultimately that's what we want for like FC Pro. I can't say I play too much anymore. Like, obviously I played EPRAM last year, but that was about all I touched, and I think it would be the same this year as well. But I'm so invested in the pro scene. It's been the reason that I've had this job for as many years as I have, which I'm buzzing for, and I want to see it keep doing really well. And I want there to be stories around players. I want people to know about players. Obviously someone we've had do that amazing in the last couple of years is Anders. People say what they want about Anders. The guy's an absolute, everybody knows him. Everybody knows him. We need more players like that. And you know what? When you meet Anders in person, he's actually a great guy. He's actually really funny.
Speaking of Anders, we were in Saudi Arabia recently for the World Championship, where he got grouped. Quite a shocking turn of events. It was Manu Bacciore who came out on top, winning 250k. First ever two-time world champion. Pretty much, I think you can argue it, but I even said on the broadcast, the best FC player of all time, the best person to ever play the game. You can't win 2 world championships and not have that accolade. Sure, you were out there on the broadcast. I suppose the main thing I want to ask you, which I think will resonate with the listeners as well, is what are the biggest, the most interesting things from watching, from them playing to then working? What are the interesting sort of things that you didn't expect? Because I've only really seen it from a commentary perspective. I've never been in that seat where you can hear me commentating and saying, "Oh, sure, he should have done this better," or I've not been really the person sat at home watching it all unfold.
Yeah, well, To answer that, I would say I look at them 32 players, and then maybe there's some in there who you wouldn't tip as winning the tournament, but you can go off like 10 to 15 players out of there that you go, they just could win the whole thing. Like my opinion on what you just said there is like, I feel like these top players, the ones right at the very top, I just don't think they let many things said from outside really affect them too much. I think you just see that in abundance with their mentality, the way they walk out on stage, their confidence, their interviews. There's not a whole lot of overthinking going on from these kind of guys. They're straight into a game. They're so focused, locked in. And like as an ex-pro, I guess, like looking at them, I obviously not envy it, but I look at it and just think that's amazing. I'm like, how on earth are you staying that composed? You know, even just look at Tex, of course. Obviously, he went out really, you know, so disappointed the way he went out. I was gutted for him, but like he conceded 2-2 that game against Danny Pitbull, and then managed to like come out with an amazing extra time performance. Like I feel like these top players, they don't let the whatever a commentator's saying or whatever an ex-player saying, anything like that, like affect them too much. They just kind of get on with the game. But just wanted to touch obviously on the Anders thing. When I was on commentary and I got told that genuinely, I don't think there's any other player who could leave the tournament that could shock me like that. Like anyone. Like even if you told me Emre Yilmaz or Levi De Weird or Manu Bashore exited the tournament, I'd just be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's another one of them results. Whereas like Anders just like completely shook the whole place. I was genuinely in shock for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't happen. One thing to bring it back to the wider Ultimate Team community, the winner gets to pick a champion SBC. I imagine it'll be fine, won't it? I can tell you. It was Laurent Blanc he picked, the player. I can also, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, I can give you a little bit of behind the scenes on how this actually happens and how this works, if we're interested. So
I'm interested.
They win, someone wins the tournament, and then there's a phone call that takes place between the person backstage and Vancouver, where they will say, who do you want? These are the 6 players. And then they will say, what playstyles? I'm pretty sure whoever wins it gets full control over the playstyles. They can pick any playstyles they want on that player. They then get to pick the roles that the person has. And then the third thing, they don't get to specifically say, like, I want 99 pace, 99 shooting, 99 dribbling. But they will say, for example, I want my Laurent Blanc to have more than 93 pace. I want him to have more than 97 defending. And then whoever's creating these items will sort of tinker with things. And that's how the process comes together. That might end up all getting cut out. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that or not. But I know that it is Laurent Blanc because he's come out in interviews at Manu and said, I want to choose Laurent Blanc. So, you can have that one as well. Are you surprised, Matt, that this is... I thought we should have waited till FC26 to release this SBC. Imagine week 1, FC Pro World Champion SBC, like a 91 Laurent Blanc SBC comes out with like good but not great stats. That to me is much more interesting than like a 99 Laurent Blanc on the 15th of August.
Yeah, you're getting what? 3-4 weeks use out of that card maximum. So it would be nice, but I guess, you know, they played it on FC25. It probably does make sense to release it in the current cycle. But very interesting to hear about the sort of decision-making process and the deal or no deal style phone call.
I saw it happen. I saw it happen with my own eyes. I saw it all take place. Last thing I wanted to chat on sort of FC26. We've had Nate on, who played the game. We've had me, Matt, Nep talking about the game and sort of what we want from it. I think you're in quite a unique position, Shori, where you are still like in the top 0.01% of people who play this game on ability. You mentioned the Premier League. You're still wanting, like, there's an itch there to play, but it maybe not as itchy as it used to be. Oh, just smacked my microphone. Apologies. However, you are also like a one of the UK's most prominent FC content creators. So what do you want from FC26? Like, selfishly, what does the game look like for you, and how or do you feel as though the trailers, the deep dives that we've got are sort of helping you in terms of what you want from the game?
Absolutely. I think it's more than a move in the right direction from EA in terms of, the fact that the trailer had things like, the bounce backs and all things like that. Like, I think it can only be a good thing that EA is saying, right, we're going to address some of the issues that people, of course, tell us about. I'm going to try and correct them, make them as good as possible. I feel like this is the year where it feels like they are trying to connect with the community as much as possible and like bring out all the things that people want. I know that there'll be more announcements coming of things in the game which I don't think are released yet. Pretty sure they're not released yet. And we'll hear loads more good things where they're connecting with the community, I would imagine. And I just think, from a pro side of things, like I was saying, I want to just see loads of storylines. Selfishly, as you mentioned myself, I'm not looking to probably play as much. I want to have a really fast game, which I think EA, I've been hearing from a couple of people playing the game, that it feels a bit like 19, like it's quite fast. Again, we need that. We need gameplay that's enjoyable for everybody. I think last year we had, of course, the patch come in sort of the Christmas time, and that like did transform the game completely. And if we have a game again like that, where things are just being listened to in the community, I think that's the most important thing. Because then everybody stays happy. I think if there's a clear issue with the game and then everybody speaks up about it and then EA say, absolutely no, we've got to change that, then I think that just keeps everybody happy. We obviously know that the power curve's looking to be a bit slower next year as well, which is people have been crying out for ages. I do think there's a bit of a double-edged sword with this though, because there was a time a couple of years ago where people are there like, 6 o'clock and there's no content, and then now obviously the sort of argument is that there's too much content, which I definitely don't disagree with, because sometimes in the game, I think you guys probably feel the same. Sometimes maybe you feel like you can't keep up as much with the amount of things that come out. So it'll be interesting to see how EA try to sort of hit the nail on the head with the fine line between, they still probably want to do release promos often, but just keeping that power curve not going too fast, too quickly, because then, you Gold Van Dijk and Gold Mbappe are probably the only two players that seem to last for a little while, and everyone else is just, they're taking out the recycling after about 2 weeks.
It's such an interesting thing that with the items, and I'm really, really intrigued to see how EA do it. We are, I think, going to get some sort of, I don't know if this has been announced yet, Matt, or if it was just insinuated, but pre-season on FC25, moving into FC26, more than likely through the season pass, I think is the way that they'll do it. Is it must do content for you? The pre-season rewards typically. I mean, I think in the previous few years I've been away or not really engaged with it too much, and I always feel a little bit hard done by when I don't get my 83x3 or my 84x5. But I think for a lot of people, they do consume that content. What's your sort of take on that very quickly, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's a really nice sort of segue between 25 and 26. You get a little bit of gameplay in for 25, and it's not all going to be sort of lost in 4 weeks when you're on FC26. You're already sort of grinding those rewards. I was actually just trying to find what we got last year. I think it was along the lines of like 84 times 5s. That might have actually been in FC24. I have to check. But it's not going to be crazy packs that are going to completely change your experience. You're not going to be getting sort of 85 times 20s on the first week of the game, but you're going to be getting some little things here and there that you might be able to snag one of those good gold cards early on.
So I'm seeing the Kickstart Your Ultimate Team by playing FC24. Mm-hmm. This was, I believe, for last year. You got a carryover award, an 84x5 players pack. You got a FC25 carryover reward, 80x10, and FC25 new base hero loan 1 of 5. And then on FC24 you got an 84x5 for completing that. You then got a complete for the club objective 82x10 on FC25, and then for completing the whole thing, you got an 82 by 5 and an 81 by 7. So, I mean, it's not that bad, really, for doing a few objectives. More of a PSA than anything for anyone out there who is listening right now. If you are playing the beta for FC26 right now, don't stream it. Don't screen record it. Like, just the one thing I will say, which I think is really important, give your feedback on the forums that are being provided to you, because it's relatively important that they get good feedback. Not just I'm enjoying the game, but play the game as you would normally. And if you're finding glitches, if you're on pro clubs and you're getting crash outs at half time, before the game loads, if you're not getting into a match, like, these are the things that instead of a patch coming in February, they might be able to adjust in November or October. I think a lot of people forget, Matt, that feedback is very important for the beta. I think people just see it as an open sort of demo to play over the summer, where they just get a new game early. The other thing I will say, your progress doesn't carry across. Whatever you do on the beta, you're not getting on FC26. So when you pack Mbappe from that silver pack, it's not happening. So just make sure. But yeah, hopefully feedback is getting put in there, Matt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been one of those guys, sort of definitely in previous years, pages and pages of feedback, and not everything gets picked up upon, and it might sort of disenfranchise some people from giving more feedback. But I think this year more than ever, it is the opportunity to do that. So I've played a good amount of the beta. As you say, Rich, a bit disappointed that the progress doesn't carry over, because I've got a pretty stacked team on Ultimate Team. But yeah, I think we obviously can't say too much, but I think there will be some things that people will be picking up on. But yeah, I'm sure that it'll be getting changed for the full release. And just quickly on sort of pre-season pre-order rewards, I believe it's the 26th of August to get your pre-order in, to get those pre-order bonuses like the icon. So on the sort of release of this pod, it's probably less than 2 weeks. Or it is less than 2 weeks until you can get that pre-order in. So don't miss out. I've seen plenty of people, the day after, they say, "Oh, when do the pre-order bonuses end?" "Oh, it was yesterday." "Oh, okay." So don't be that guy.
Not only do we have FC26 coming out, but we have got a big Premier League returning. And we also have not only a hashtag fan, but we've got a big Liverpool fan. My season's already been underway as Barnsley. We're in it already. But for Shorey and for Liverpool Football Club, it was a Community Shield penalty shootout loss. Were you actually back to watch that? I'm guessing you were. So I've got a few topics of discussion for Liverpool and the Premier League, Shorey. But before we get there, thoughts on the Community Shield? Does it fill you with confidence, or is it just a glorified friendly for you?
I do think it's a bit of a glorified friendly, to be honest. But I'm not just going to say that now because we lost. Which I will say, our penalties were absolutely shocking. I mean, I don't need a pair of glasses on to tell you that. Honestly, no. I thought I don't know. You want to take positives? I mean, look, I'd love to have won the Community Shield. It would have been nice, but I thought Ekitike's goal was actually so nice, such a nice goal. Like taking it on the turn like that and scoring. Obviously, Frimpong's goal a little bit lucky, some might say. No, I do think it wasn't the greatest game from us, but I think that. Yeah, it is still a bit of a pre-season game, is what it feels like to me. And I do think once the season actually begins, it will be a different Liverpool than we saw there. I think we always know finals can be a bit strange anyway. I mean, look at City; they just lost to Crystal Palace, at the same ground. So, look, I'm not going to come up with any excuses. I think we definitely could have been better in parts, though. There was some parts, especially in the second half, it just seemed to trail off a little bit. We had times in the first half where it looked really good. But I do think the new signings that we've got are really, really positive. And if we end up getting Isak as well, which I still personally believe is going to happen. I think we're in talks with the last couple of days in signing an Italian defender. I forget his name, but then there's also Gay as well from Crystal Palace, funnily enough. And I think if we got them 3, I mean, I personally don't see who could stop us to the title, because once it starts all falling into place, I just see us scoring for fun.
I think that Mark Gahey signing, if you can get it over for like 35, 40 million, I think what was rumoured, that seems like great business.
He's got a year left on his contract, so that's why it's a little bit of a lower fee. I feel like he would be more of a sort of 60, 70 mil kind of player if it was like a normal sort of 3 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
I wanna chat Premier League predictions, mainly for Shorey, but we can have a little bit of input afterwards, Matt. We'll give ours after Shorey's done his. So this is your season expectations with hashtag Shorey. Who's going to win the Premier League?
Liverpool going to win the league.
Okay.
I think. Do you want me to go a little bit in depth, or just fly through them?
Look, you can give depth if you want.
I want to know by how many points you're going to win the league.
I actually don't think it will be as sort of a landslide as last season. I mean, last season was strange. As soon as we won it, we just started losing every game, basically. But I don't think it'll be by as many. But I think it will be a closer title race. But I just think we will win it. I think after making the signs that we're hopefully going to make, and I'll touch on the other teams because I imagine Buckley's going to ask me.
Biggest underachiever.
I'm gonna say Man United, because they are. I feel like this actually was kind of the transfer window where they've actually looked like they've made some really good, like, proven Premier League signings. Cunha, and Buemo. There's definitely a couple others as well. But I don't know what it is with that club. Like, they just ruin every single player. Like, and I'm not even. Like, as a Liverpool fan, I mean, yeah, it's like nice Scouse accent, you know what I mean? But I just how can you ruin that many players' careers or just derail them as much as they do? It just doesn't make any sense. So I feel like I wouldn't like to be proven wrong by United, but it would be interesting to see a Man United that compete a little bit more. Sort of towards the top 4 kind of thing, but they've just been like shocking like the last couple of years. Like it doesn't even make sense.
Biggest overachiever.
Ooh, biggest overachiever. I'm gonna say Aston Villa, because I feel like Aston Villa people are gonna think next season they're not gonna do as well. I feel like I've been hearing that quite a lot. But Mr. Goody Winning himself, I feel like Unai. I just like him as a manager. I feel like he could do really well for them. I feel like Villa are being tipped to not do as well next season, so I'd go with them.
Who's going to win the FA Cup?
It's just probably going to be Man City, isn't it, really? Man City or Liverpool. Arsenal need it. Arsenal absolutely need it, because I don't think Arsenal win the title. I think they've made some really good signings, but they've signed Gyökeres, and after one game, they're all the Arsenal fans. Well, I'm hearing some Arsenal fans ripping into him a little bit. I think he actually did end up scoring in another game afterwards. But who's going to win it? If I had to give you one answer, Liverpool. Liverpool.
2 more. Relegated. I think it's quite easy for a lot of people.
I wish it wasn't the 3 going down, but Leeds, Sunderland, Burnley. I think if genuinely out of the 3, if anyone's got a chance, it's Burnley, because they're just so good defensively. Sunderland have made some good signings, and I'm sure I've seen some rumours of some really interesting signings for Sunderland, but I just don't know if it'll be enough with all these Premier League clubs. I think, look at a team like Brentford, though. Some people are tipping Brentford to potentially go down or definitely go further down the table than they usually would have. Bournemouth as well, yeah, because Brentford, obviously, they've lost their manager, they've lost like some of their absolute best players. But yeah, I'm just going to say the 3 that came up. I just think that the way that the sort of discrepancy between the Championship and the Premier League is so difficult to sort of make up.
And finally, top goal scorer.
Top goal scorer. I'm going to say Isak. And he's going to be the top goal scorer for Liverpool.
Oh.
Although, Salah could be good enough. This obviously sounds extremely Liverpool biased, but we have got to remember we have just won the league and we have just had the most insane transfer window almost of all time, definitely in Liverpool's history. I would have to put Haaland in there as well. He's just an absolute goal scoring machine. But I won't go too biased in terms of because he's not a Liverpool player. Isak could be top scorer if he continued playing for Newcastle. He's that good.
I mean, he's not going to play, is he? He's got 3 years in the reserves.
He's saying he's not going to play. What's your guys' take on that, real quick? Just quickly off topic. Like, do you think that they've got to sell him now? Surely they've got to.
Yeah, I think it will happen.
If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be torn because I think if you're a Newcastle fan and you went about it the right way, I think you go, thank you very much. You came to us. We got Champions League football. We won a cup. I know you want to go on and win the Premier League or go on and win the Champions League. Get 100, 120, 150 million for him. I think if I'm a Newcastle fan, I think I shake hands and go, what else can I ask from you? Yeah. However, the way that he's gone about it, forcing a move out himself, I can sense I understand the frustration. Like, I also would be very, very annoyed. I mean, you saw it, sure, yourself with Trent. Like,
yeah. If I do have a point to touch on that, which when you're done. If
you go about it, I think the right way, I think Liverpool fans would have been a lot more accepting of it. Still, there would have been annoyance because he is Scouse and he's a Liverpool lad through and through. But it's the fact that you run the contract down, even in the back of your mind, you know that you're already out the door. Where they could have got a fee for him. I mean, look, I can't see a world. I don't know. I've seen weirder things happen. Could I see Isak putting on a Newcastle shirt and playing again for them? All he needs to do is play one game, score a goal, and he's beloved again, isn't he? Like, that's the fickleness of football. But I'm not sure. I just don't know if I see it.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that quick. When people sort of say about the Trent situation and maybe the Isak situation, I mean, I actually saw a tweet of someone saying, "We made you." Talking about Isak. I mean, as say that to Newcastle fans, I just don't see how you can say you made that player. It's different to saying that to Trent. Like, Trent has come through Liverpool since he was a kid, whereas like Isak was he at Real Sociedad before? Was it?
Yes. Yeah.
And he was bagging goals and then got signed to the Premier League. I just don't think. I think that's very entitled, maybe, to say that you made that player because he's come and had a couple good years in the Premier League. I think if he'd have gone to any Premier League club, he would have played extremely well. That's nothing against Newcastle, by the way. I actually really like Newcastle as a club, but I just think you cannot compare the Trent situation and the Isak situation and say we made him. You know, at the end of the day, what affiliation does Isak have emotionally to Newcastle other than just playing there for 2 years? There's no like growing up there or anything like that.
I think a lot of it as well is probably things that we haven't seen yet or haven't come out yet. I think a lot of it is to his salaries. Like, I was hearing that he was going to get a wage bump after they won the cup. That never came through. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. Continuing the Liverpool conversation, I want to ask for some rating predictions on FC26. We've got 6 of Liverpool's best players, and Shori is going to tell us his prediction on rating. So we're going to start with what I think is probably the joint highest rated player in the Premier League, Mohamed Salah.
Yep, I think I'm going to have to say, after Salah's season last year, I think 90 rated is fair to me. I do see how people could make a case for 89, but I do just think, because he was on that sort of Ballon d'Or charge, and I don't think it's going to happen now, of course. I think I'd be a bit delusional to say that. But I still think 90 rated is deserved. Because I think we're going to have saying that though, we do know there's a potential power curve. So they might make the highest rated goal card in the whole game 90 rated. Like, obviously we don't know that yet, 100%. So they might make Salah 89. I'm just going to go 90 though. I'm just going to go 90 for Salah.
Virgil van Dijk.
90 as well. I just think he had a season, not last year, the year before, where he just sort of like tailed off a little bit. Like, people were like, oh, Van Dijk's past his best. I don't think the Community Shield was great, but there was a couple of mistakes in there. But Van Dijk's last season to me was like back to his best. He was being spoke about so highly by every commentator or pundit, anything like that. There wasn't really too much sort of knocking Van Dijk last season. I think like he is the reason that we won the league. Like, he's a massive, massive reason why we won the league. So I just think 90 rated is justified.
One of the most exciting players in the Premier League, Florian Wirtz.
Yeah. Look, I'd be lying to say I had watched so much Wirtz. Obviously, I know for a fact he's been the Bundesliga Player of the Year 2 years in a row, which, I mean, is an absolute statement signing from us. I do just think it will just stick at 88 for Wirtz. I don't think it will go to 89. It could. I'd like to be proven wrong, but again, if we know about the potential power curve stuff, go 88 for Wirtz.
A player that is underrated, in my opinion, best goalkeeper in the Premier League, Alisson.
I completely agree. I think he's the... I don't know who's a better keeper than... I don't personally know who I would pick over Alisson in goal if I had the choice of any goalkeeper. I genuinely don't know who I'd pick. Like maybe Courtois, maybe.
I mean, Donnarumma might be coming to the Premier League soon.
Donnarumma's obviously absolutely amazing. I think, Donnarumma... Alisson is without doubt in the top 3 keepers in the world, in my opinion. I'm not maybe saying he's number 1, but he's definitely top 3. I think 89. 89 Buckley. I think to be a keeper that good, to be one of the best in the world, I think you've got to be 89 rated.
And we've got a couple more new signings to round this off. We'll go with Frimpong.
Frimpong, yep. I think he's 84 rated on FC25. Really good season. Again, obviously they come off the winning the league the year before. I think Frimpong, if I was to guess, actually would just stay at 84. I'd like to see a little upgrade to 85. I don't think it'd be higher than 85 though. We're not talking like 86, 87 territory just yet. No, let's go 85. Let's go 85 for Frimpong.
I actually think he might even go 86.
Really?
Little walkout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
Potentially.
He's the Kyle Walker regen.
Yep. Yeah. True.
And finally, you mentioned me earlier, scored a great goal in the Community Shield. Ekatike. Where do we think?
Yeah. Well, it's one of them players who needs to jump up in rating a fair bit. So I do just think it will be a sort of 81, 82 sort of rated item. I think 82 would probably be fair. Obviously, he's gone for a big transfer fee, which I don't know if EA look into that too much and sort of add it to the rating. But let's go 82 for Ekatike. Hopefully we see that rating sort of keep jumping up throughout the years, because if he's scoring goals like in the Community Shield, we're talking cash money.
There you go. Matt, I've got to jump on very quickly. I did a ratings video with FUTBIN. I gave Salah and Van Dijk 91 each. Where do you think? 89, 90, 91?
I think if you're... Yeah. 90 Salah, 89 Van Dijk, 90 Haaland, around sort of that range. Yeah, I wouldn't push anyone to 91 territory.
Do you think anyone in the game will come out as a 91?
Oof.
Like, who is the best player in the world right now?
Yeah. Would you still put Mbappe at that level? Like, Vinny at that level?
Mbappe's just going to be 90 to me.
I think a 90 would be kind of like a good hard stop for most players, really. There's not really been...
Yeah.
Well, who was 91 this year? We had a few, right? Rodri.
Yeah, he's going to come down. Mbappe.
Haaland 91?
Could come down.
I think we had like 5 91 rated players, which is a lot right out the get-go. I think there will be one player who is 91. And I just don't know where it'll land. Because it's not going to be Yamal, it's not going to be Dembele. I think that's too big of a jump.
Yeah.
I think Dembele gets 88 or maybe even 89. I just don't think there's no way he gets to 91. That would just be a ridiculous upgrade.
It could be Mbappe.
Yeah.
I think it's not a bad shout.
Vinny's in there as well. Vinny's in there. Like, they could make him 91.
Yeah. Donnarumma. Get him up there.
Donnarumma.
We got one final Liverpool section, Shori, and this one's a little bit fun. Okay, we've all played Icon or Hero, where you tell us if a player should be an icon or a hero in FC26. However, this is Liverpool edition, so there's a few rogue names in there.
I like
okay, we'll do all of us. We'll all play this one. First up, icon or hero, Jibril Cisse.
Hero, surely.
Does he even make hero status? Like
We'll have a third. Icon hero or not.
Yeah.
What a hero he would be, though. That would be one of the most fun items on the game.
Yeah,
like,
that would be interesting.
right up there. Sammy Hippier.
I think he's not icon status, but he could be a hero.
Okay. Luis Suarez.
Oh, icon.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
There's absolutely zero debate about that.
What rating do you think?
Oof.
I'm gonna say 91.
Yeah, I was gonna say 90 or 91. I mean, is it around sort of Thierry Henry rating?
Like Suarez had a time where he was the best striker in the world. Obviously.
What do you think, Zlatan? Zlatan's rating's not been announced yet, I believe.
I've spoke to my Twitch chat quite a lot about this. I think because he's the cover star, I don't know if he could be 90 rated. I just think it might be a bit low. I think it's definitely 91 or 92. If I had to absolutely put if I had to put a house on it, I'd have to say 91 probably.
Because it might be a hot take or not. Suarez is infinitely a better player than Zlatan.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go out there and say that.
I don't know if infinitely sounds harsh, but I completely agree with you, Buck. He's definitely a better player.
Suarez, and could be a hot take, 51 minutes into the recording. Suarez is the best player of this generation behind Ronaldo and Messi.
Yeah. I always stand with him and
like,
Neymar.
I just think
Neymar was just.
Suarez had. Neymar had his own individual qualities. Like Zlatan had qualities that were nowhere near anyone else. Suarez had Ronaldo and Messi-esque qualities in the way that he played. He could head the ball like Ronaldo. He could dribble like Messi when he used to sort of chink in and out of players. His finishing was elite. I just think he's undervalued and underappreciated because of Ronaldo and Messi are just on another island. So I'd even go like 92, maybe even like... I wouldn't be opposed to Suarez coming in at 93. I think this current era of players that we've got now, when they go on to retire, I think their icon ratings have to be reevaluated because players like Sergio Ramos and Kevin De Bruyne, when they do retire and hang it up eventually, like they have to be coming in at 90 plus rated icons. Topic for another day. Let's get back to the to Liverpool ratings. Martin Skirtle.
It was at a game where we beat Arsenal 5-1 at home and he scored 2 headers, which was absolutely crazy. And if anything, that defines a hero moment. So let's go hero, Skirtle.
And finally, a player that we might be seeing on our TVs very soon. Jamie Redknapp.
Hero?
Or none. Could be none.
Or is it hero none?
It screams of fodder, doesn't it? You can just see that in like the hero player picks, can't you? Oh, Jamie Redknapp.
87 rated Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah.
Highest stat like 84 passing.
Yeah. 10k on release day.
With what you said with Suarez, though, I guess you have to remember as well, he literally every time he went to a club, he improved them ridiculously.
Yeah.
Like, went to, obviously, Liverpool, almost took us to the league, 2013-14, goes to Barca, takes over. Of course, he's in a ridiculous team. But then goes to, like, Atletico Madrid and just wins the league.
Yep.
So you actually do make a very good case. 92 is probably fair as far as going back to that.
Thank you very much. Look, I only give good points. I only give valid points.
I can vouch for that big time.
There you go, Shori. Thank you very much for coming on. It's going to be a very good and successful FC26 for you. I can already see it happening. Where can people who aren't familiar with you and your channels find out a little bit more about Shori?
Just Shori_guys on basically every social media. Thanks, Plug. I was going to say I don't normally like to plug, but I definitely plug on Twitch, my Twitch privates. That's for sure. Shori_lads and just Shori on YouTube. But yeah, of course, then in the #house as well. Of course, don't forget that. I mean, that's probably the main reason a lot of people know me these days, to be honest. So yeah, no, I appreciate it, lads. It's been great to come on and chat.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us. Another pod in the books. We had to do it without the gaffer again. Navigator and Van Dijk guiding you through another episode. We are getting very close to FC 26. I think we're probably 5 episodes away from release date. I think 5 or 6 episodes away. So make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment down below who you want to see next on the FUTBIN podcast, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'll be back next week and we'll be breaking down everything, if there is any more FC 26 news, deep dives, and everything else. Have a great day and we'll see you next week.